Hi guys, Chef D from Elite Catering. Today we're going to make one of the most requested recipes I get around the holiday season. Homemade turkey gravy. First I'm going to show you the giblet method. Here we have the neck, the liver, the giblets, and a little extra piece of turkey fat that I found in the back of the cavity. I know it looks a little bit like a horror show, but this will make great gravy. Set your heat to medium-low and let it simmer down. You can see that this fat is rendered. This is only about after 5 minutes. After about 15 minutes you can see how nice and golden brown it is. Next, remove everything from the pan and you'll see we have this beautiful fond at the bottom, which is where all the flavor's at. Some people like to chop up the giblets and put in the gravy or stuffing. I personally don't. I just save them for my four-legged friends. Just make sure there's no bones when you give it to them. Next we're going to make our roux. I had about a half a cup of turkey fat in there rendered. I'm going to add a half a cup of flour to that. And we're going to cook this to the peanut butter stage roux, which I think has a very nice flavor for gravy. Here's our roux in the blonde stage. You can see that it's fairly light and it's a little thick. As it cooks, it will get a little bit thinner, and the more that we cook a roux, the less it will actually thicken our gravy, but the more flavor development that we are going to get. Here we are almost at the peanut butter stage. You can see how it's a lot thinner than it was before. We want to shut the heat off now because this is going to continue to cook and get darker. And after 5 minutes of cooling, you can see how much darker this got. We're going to keep this until the turkey is done roasting. Here are our pan drippings. Pour them into a container that's kind of high, and you can see the fat goes to the top. If you want to just make your roux out of this, you certainly could, but we don't need that, so I've skimmed it and used it for another use. To make our gravy. Reheat the roux slightly, just till it's warm. We don't want to cook it any further than this stage. And we're going to add our pan drippings. Now, you should add just a little bit at a time, but since I'm trying to hold the camera at the same time, I'm going to add it all in at one time. That is taking a risk. You can get lumps that way, but that's what strainers are for. Just whisk this vigorously for a few minutes until it comes to a complete boil, and then turn it to a simmer. You can see how nice and velvety the sauce turned out. Not a lump at all. That's also when you're going to want to test for salt and pepper. Here I'm adding just a little bit of fresh thyme because I roasted that with the turkey, and I like to garnish things with things that are actually in the dish. And here it is on the Thanksgiving table.